All right. Good morning, everyone. Today we have Allie Jackson on with escrow options. But first, we're going to start with mortgage update with Andrew. How's it going, Andrew?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, and I have a question for Ali after I finish here. But good morning. Rates today they're just rates, nothing exciting. As I like to do every Monday morning, I just kind of run a profile of a typical client that I might see just to get a gauge of what it is. Today, I did a 620 FHA client with a 620 credit score. $7,500 of income, about $1,500 in credit debt for just a $480,000 loan. So this might be a one-bedroom condo, maybe a two-bedroom in certain areas of San Diego County, California. But this rate popped up today at 3.8. Principal and interest payment would be $22.92. Now, for this same client, let's say rates were better at 3.5%, his rate or his payment would still be $21.93, about $100 less. At 3%, it would drop to about $2,060, which is pretty significant. That's about $250 different for today versus if we were getting this person a 3% rate. But someone that is buying a house, there's a good chance that they can make this payment, the difference of the $250. So it's it's not the end of the world. These rates could push a few people out, but it's not the end of the world in my opinion. Couple of things that we have going on for your clients. So up until, as long as I can lock a purchase loan, so someone buying a new house that's going to be their primary residence, we have one of our lenders is offering free appraisals. That's about a $600 savings to your client. We would need to have that locked before March 31st. That saves them $600. It also allows us to use their specific appraisal process, which does add in speeding up time and allowing us to close anywhere from 14 to 17 days if we had to or needed to. A second lender that we've been working with lately, they have two new jumbo products available. So if you have a buyer that is looking in the $1 million to $1.5 million range, he's probably thinking, I need 150 to 200, potentially even $300,000 as my down payment. We have a new program up to $1.5 million with only 3.5% down. That is, that's like 60 grand, or I didn't even do the exact number, but it's probably less than 60 grand for a borrower to acquire a $1.5 million property. And they still have to qualify for the larger monthly payment and everything like that. But cash out from that buyer is significantly lower, allowing potentially to push that to cover an appraisal gap, to bump it up a little bit higher. Maybe at a 20% down, they were only able to afford $1.2 million, something like that, because of the difference in their income. So it does allow them at $2 million. So 1.5 to 2 million, we could still do that same loan for only 5% down. So huge opportunities for the rich to get richer, because ideally, if you can acquire a property at $1.5 million right now for 3.5% down, there's a good chance in 2 years, even if you've been making the payments, that house is going to be worth $300,000 more. And the only money you had tied up in creating that profit center for yourself in equity is 35 or 3.5% of the purchase price. So again, super good opportunities if you have buyers looking in those higher ranges. If they have been pre-approved by someone else, you can bring them over to us and see if this loan makes more sense to them. We're happy to do a second look. Any of the guys that work at Tried and True have access to these programs. So feel free to reach out to whoever you are most comfortable with. And then thanks again, guys. And then it's Allie, right?
Yep, Allison. Yep.
Yes, sorry.
All right. Allie, so tell me about are you talking about all the data you guys have today? That you guys
Actually not getting into data today. We're talking a little bit more, I guess I would call today's session a little bit more woo-woo.
Okay, awesome.
I normally pull out all the stats and facts and talk about Altos reports and tracking your activity and the benefit of a CRM and all that good stuff. But today it's about mindset.
Awesome. So is it possible to just reach out to you and get kind of like a one-on-one understanding of what Altos is and how a realtor or a lender could use it?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you guys will, make sure. I've been getting the emails. It looks interesting. But as you can imagine, and I'm sure everyone that's, listening in, we get so much of that stuff. Just, I feel like it's an important one. Like if we could just pull it out of the weeds a little bit, like, and see how we could use it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can use it, from level setting buyer expectations so they don't lose the first 3 homes they fall in love with because they didn't believe you.
Awesome. Oh, that's really interesting. Cool. I'll reach out to you later this week and talk about that then.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
All right. With that, I guess Allie, go ahead and take it over.
Okay, terrific. Let me jump into screen share here.
And if anybody wants Allie's contact, she did throw it down in the chat.
All right. Just want to make sure here that you are seeing a big screen that says escrow options and not two slides showing. Is that correct?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay. I've just learned to double check before we're halfway in and someone says, I can't read that.
Yeah,
because they're looking at speaker notes or something.
Yep. I've done that many times.
Well, thank you so much for having me on here. And I'm going to jump right on into it because there's a whole lot to cover. And so as I mentioned, today's session is a little less about stats and facts and more about that mindset. And I just love this topic. So Travis and I were talking about what would be a cool thing to bring forward today. And this came about. And so I'm very excited to talk about manifestation. And it's a real thing. And the power of your mind and your ability is so untapped. And I do want to mention that you're already manifesting things. It just may not be what you want. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But so first to start out with is a goal versus a dream. And you start with a dream, but what you really want to do is zero in on what is your passion. What gets you out of bed in the morning? You ever remember that Dunkin' Donuts ad where it was 4 a.m. and the guy says, time to make the donuts. Who wants to get up at 4 a.m. and bake donuts? But if there's a higher goal and something that you're reaching for, you don't mind getting up to make the donuts because that's going to get you one step closer to your goal. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. And so how do you take it from a dream? I'm sorry, I'm getting a little hoarse here. How do you take it from a dream and move it into a goal? One is you want to write it down and write it down in the present tense and declare it. So whatever your goal may be, it's not, someday I want to, but I am. I am the #1 agent and or I am the mother of these children, or whatever it is that you want, you own it and you put it in the present tense. You declare it and you share it. And then you have an unwavering faith that this dream is your reality. I don't know if anyone here has ever read or watched Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's sort of one of my gurus. I just love Dr. Wayne Dyer. I had a couple of friends tell me, totally different coasts, say, you should check him out. When I was living in Connecticut and I was super unhappy there, and I came across a show that he was doing actually on PBS called Wishes Fulfilled. And he was talking, and he also wrote a book of the same title, You'll See It When You Believe It. So it's not, the old saying of the curmudgeon that says, oh, well, I'll believe that when I see it. But this is actually flipping that around, because when you believe it, you will make it a reality if you have that unwavering faith and commitment that this is your reality. So here's a little poem, Ella Wheeler Wilcox, Thoughts Are Things. And I have in this visual about being careful what you wish for, because when I opened this up, I said, you are already manifesting. Whatever you're thinking about and what is on your mind is what you are creating and making your reality. So you may have a wish out there that I am financially secure, but you have a conversation running in the back of your head. Maybe your parents, your grandparents, your family came from struggles. Maybe you were in a situation at some point where it was really hand to mouth. And you're still running that tape loop in the back of your head, even though you've said out loud, I want to be wealthy. I want to be financially secure. I want to live debt-free. And you may want all those things, but if that conversation and that tape is playing in your head over and over again, that I never amount to anything, I can't close this deal, I never convert my listing presentation into an actual listing. If that is going on in your head, I'm always living check to check, life is always a struggle. Guess what? It is. Because whatever you're thinking is what you're creating. So that's where that important shift that I said here, you'll see it when you believe it, is so critically important. So I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but the thoughts are things, and thoughts have wings, and they bring back to you from the universe what you are thinking. So the universe doesn't really judge. It doesn't know. It doesn't know if you want something or not. It doesn't know if it's good or if it's bad. And it doesn't care. It just delivers. So what you put out there into the universe is your boomerang. What you throw out there is going to come back to you. So you determine what it is you want. You believe it. You own it. And you have this conviction. And then guess what's going to happen? You ever have a bird fly over your car right after you get it washed and it goes all over your hood? Well, that's what the dream stealers are going to do. They're well-meaning people. They might be people you love and hold very near and dear to your heart. Might be a spouse, a parent, a child, a best friend, a neighbor, someone you partner with even. But you've got to hold fast and say, thank you for caring, but I don't need your sharing. You don't need the blot on the hood of your just cleaned car, right? You've got to hold on to your ground. And what I say is rebuking the stinking thinking. Zig Ziglar says, we all need a daily checkup from the neck up to avoid stinking thinking, which ultimately leads to hardening of the attitudes. So you need to hold on to this despite what is going to come up in your face, because you'll be tested. Is that really important to you? Do you really want this to happen? Well, let's just check in one more time. Let's put a little more splat on your hood. So it's important for you to hold on to this steadfast. So when somebody is raining on your parade, you got to lock that thought in the brig. You got to burn it in the incinerator. You got to take out the trash and not only what the dream stealers are putting on you, but what you're putting in yourself. Those thoughts, that conversation, that tape loop that's going on in the back of your head, that I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve this, or I always flop at this, that is needs to be erased or locked away because it has no purpose. It is not serving you. So you can be your own dream stealer. Newsflash. So get rid of that because the universe is going to deliver whatever it is that you're focusing on. It doesn't judge, it delivers. So what I invite you to do is to engage all of your senses and to focus and be in that place that you want to create. It's not something that's out of reach or seems like you can't achieve because you've already achieved it in the shoes that you're standing in. Does that make any sense? So here is this is a vision board. I'm actually just about ready to update it because I have a few more things on here. My gosh, my mother, who is 90 years old and a very successful realtor, broker, home builder, land developer. This all came when she read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he mentioned something about having a vision board in there. That's an old book. By the way, one worth resurfacing. And she put together her vision board. And I was helping her clean out some stuff. And I came across and I said, Mom, you did this? She had it framed. It wasn't a big poster. It doesn't need to be, but it was on her desk and she looked at it all the time. And the house that we lived in, that she and my stepdad built, looked incredibly like the one she put on her vision board. And she said, oh, that didn't even dawn on me. But everything that she had put on there, she had achieved because she visualized it and she believed it. Now, I have some things on here for me that really resonate, a visual that triggers something. In the middle of mine is the phoenix rising from the ashes because I got to reinvent myself 5 years ago with an entirely new career and a new life. And I'm the phoenix rising from the ashes, and up above it is the eagle with its wings outspread on what I can achieve and what I can help others achieve, because these are things that are in my realm of what I want to create. Living at the beach, that one's going to come up pretty soon, and I don't mean in a pup tent. Manifesting your dream job, and here I am in it. It's incredible. So that's a visual cue that really makes a difference. But you can find different ways to trigger all the senses. Sitting right next to me here is my abundance candle. And I love the scent of it. And I light it when I'm focusing in on something, when I'm meditating, when I'm thinking about what it is that I need to create, and having that time to just shake off the blah that, maybe you made a call to someone, maybe you did a door knock and you talked to someone and they slimed you, they got very negative. You got to shake that off and find something that's going to trigger you to go back to why you're doing this in the first place. So you're unflappable, right? So for me, what I have here is playlist marinate. What does that mean? Well, one of the things Dr. Wayne Dyer said in that PBS special that really awakened all of my senses and my ability to manifest what I want to create in my life. One big one was moving back to California. As I mentioned, I was not happy in Connecticut. And so he had mentioned in this special that he had done that you marinate on your thoughts all night. So if you watch the news before you go to bed, what are you thinking about? But, the murder that happened, or the missing person, or the political splat that's going on. You don't want to marinate in that all night long. You want to marinate in something positive. You want to marinate in the thoughts that are going to help you achieve what it is you want to be richly joyous in your life. I don't just mean financial. I mean to fulfill yourself. Wishes fulfilled, right? So that's what you're going to marinate on all night long. So I was so clear that by the next school year, we were going to be back here in California. I declared this out of no evidence at all, but I had no doubt that it was going to be. Got my husband a one-way ticket and said, you're going to arrange for him to rent a room from a friend. You're going to stay there. It's a one-way ticket. There's burning the bridge. There's no coming back here. Find something, make it work. And while that was going on, I'm interviewing for jobs. I'm looking for something to get me back out here. And I put together a playlist of all these songs that I love about California. And I listened to that playlist every night as I went to sleep. I marinated in it. On my commute from Avon, Connecticut to Springfield, Massachusetts, That's a nice long drive. I listened to that playlist on the way there and on the way back. It was just always playing in the background. That's one of the senses. And I mentioned the scent triggers, the candle. There might be a stone that reminds you of a special place, or the cottage that you want to purchase. You put a pebble from that beach in your pocket. Even taste. So really get everything that you've got behind what it is that you want to create. Now, bacon and eggs. And this sort of makes me think of that show Frasier. So bacon and eggs, are you a chicken or a pig? What does that mean? So when it comes to having breakfast, and you're having a breakfast of bacon and eggs, the chicken is involved, isn't she? She laid the eggs. But that pig's committed. So Napoleon Hill said, the moment you commit and quit holding back, all sorts of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance will rise up to help you. Be a pig. In fact, I have a sticky note on my screen that says, are you a chicken or a pig? My kids always laugh. I was like, what is that? I'm like, I'm a pig. See, it's a good thing to be a pig, right? Be committed. So I just want to summarize a couple of things here that I talked about. You want to identify what is your passionate reason for doing what you're doing. What's your purpose? What is it that gets you up in the morning? What makes time to make the donuts tolerable and actually even enjoyable? So take that passion that you have, write it down, publicly declare it, and then believe it. Reprogram those thoughts that you have, because thoughts have wings. The universe does not differentiate what you do or don't want. It just delivers. So focus in on and reprogram that brain, and have a relentless faith and belief that you are going to create this. Engage all of your senses and take relentless action. Because we can talk about all we want, what we want to create, but you don't just put it out there in the universe and think, oh, I put it out there. And I'm going to think about it all the time. Now it's going to come back. Well, you've got to take action. In fact, I was standing at this beautiful property in Encinitas this weekend, a $5.5 million piece of land with a panoramic view. It was incredible. And I was talking with the listing agent about it, and a neighbor walked up, and I was actually mentioned this training. And I said, oh, I should come here and write this training from this beautiful spot. What a place to manifest what you want to create. It was such a peaceful, serene, tranquil place. And the neighbor says, oh, well, just buy a lottery ticket, which, by the way, I did do. I haven't even checked to see if I won, but I did go down, because you can't win if you don't play, right? But it's not, I don't think you're just going to wish and manifest something because you bought a lottery ticket. You work and work and work. You take that action. So back to my story. How did we end up getting here? I had this relentless belief that we were going to get back here, and my kids were going to start the school year. My oldest, it was his senior year, so he wasn't too keen on this idea. And my youngest, it would be a sophomore year going into high school. Kind of a rough time to move the kids away, right? And so they're pestering me the week before school starts. Mom, are you going to buy our parking pass yet for Avon High? I mean, you really need to buy this parking pass because they're almost sold out. And I said, no, you're going to be going to school in Carlsbad. Well, everyone just shrugged like she's crazy. The dream stealers were everywhere. Oh, my dear friends. Even my mother, like, get the kids registered, get them set up. My God, school's a week away. So I go into work. Our VP pulls me in and says, you know that project you've been working on with the lead generation team? They really appreciate the work you've done, and they want you on the team full time. Would you be up for switching? I said, absolutely. So I sit down that afternoon with my new boss, and I say, John, by the way, did Tara, that's our VP, did Tara mention to you that I need to move to California? And he said, why, no, she didn't. And I said, yeah, My family's all going out there and I really need to move there. Can I work fully remote? Now, this was pre-pandemic. This was some time ago. And he said, sure. My new boss was an IT guy. He had teams all over the globe. It didn't faze him at all. In fact, it kind of transformed the way we did business at Mass Mutual, being part of a fully remote team. So out of no evidence, but I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen there. I was applying for jobs in California. I was taking action all over the place. But the interesting thing about when you take action, you can be putting something over here to the left over and over and over, and it doesn't feel like you're getting results, but because you're taking that action, you're creating this swirl of action all around you that something, bam, comes in from the right and delivers. You can be working this farm and talking to these people over here, and all of a sudden, someone that you made a listing presentation to 6 months ago and they said they wanted to stay and they decided not to move, they call you and say, yeah, I'm ready. That's how it works. When you take action in one place, it begets results, even if it's from someplace else. It might be from where you're focusing, but sometimes it comes from another place. It's all because you're taking relentless action. So a dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement. So be a pig. Be a pig.
I agree.
So here's a little bit of reading, because what you feed your mind does become your reality. And so I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. I like anything he says, anything he's put out. You can find all kinds of motivational videos from him and meditations from him on YouTube. You can find on audiobooks as well as just regular old paper books, but Believe It and You'll See It and Wishes Fulfilled are two of my favorites. Of course, Stephen Covey. I mean, some of these are older books, but they're real. They couldn't be more accurate today. 7 Habits and Think and Grow Rich. These are very valuable. What you feed your mind does become your reality. And what you digest when you think about it, if you're trying to prepare for a marathon, you're not going to be guzzling back beers and eating that bacon breakfast that we just looked at, even though it does look.
Did we lose you, Allie? Oh, we may have lost Allie. Well, we'll see if she comes back on or not. But a lot of what Allie's talking about is super important. I see a lot of our agents. Oh, you can? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, she's back. Okay. I guess everybody else can hear you but me.
I don't know what happened. That was really bizarre.
Yeah.
But I don't want to interrupt your thought there.
Oh, well, I was evidently, I was interrupting yours, I guess. Went dead on my side. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. So, and then the last one, and I just heard this last week, Bob Proctor passed away, and just bless him. But The Secret, I know some people think it's kind of hokey, but my gosh, like, watch it. You can find it on Netflix. Well, there's a movie too but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about The Secret, and there's a book that goes with it because it's all about manifesting. You can find all kinds of things. These are just a few, but Google, talk to people, but feed your mind. So just really appreciate this opportunity to come on and share these thoughts. And any questions? You can pop anything.
I don't have questions, but I guess I could finish kind of what I was saying. So I've seen, a lot of agents joining our team, and some that have been around with us for a number of years. And it's kind of fun to watch them on Facebook and see them really kind of get serious about what they're putting out there into the universe, basically their goals and things like that. And watching their business actually grow. A couple of them are actually on the webinar right now. Into just, and maybe looking on, from the outside in, they don't really realize how much, that is benefiting them with just the focus that they have and, the thoughts that they're putting into their business and taking action. But it's really fun to watch on my end to see them really, put the rubber to the road, I guess, and take off. So I know for me, it's definitely a part of my regiment. I mean, I do a lot of, I guess, self-reflection and things like that every day, and I have goals, I set timelines for them. And the biggest part is I take action on them, and it's just little steps each time. But, the vision boards, they help to remind myself of what it is that I'm trying to achieve. So it's kind of like, there's multiple facets to doing this kind of stuff, but it totally works. Every major hurdle I've overcome in my life has been because of, basically manifestation and putting action to my plans. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I gave just a few personal examples, but there really is, the only limit that you have to what you can achieve is what you set for yourself.
Yep. I agree.
You can take a look at some of them. I mean, here we are in the Winter Olympics, these incredible achievements that these athletes are doing. It seems superhuman strength, but there's that focus. They feel them. They feel the snow on their face as they're making that jump. They close their eyes and they put their boots in those skis. Like they feel it. They're experiencing it, and they see themselves going past that finish line, making that jump, creating what it is that they're going to create, over and over and over again. It's almost like muscle memory from their mind when they get out there and they're making it happen.
Yeah, it's funny when you say the muscle memory, because that's, when you first kind of start working on this and, self-improvement and goals and stuff like that, it seems a little difficult and you have to remind yourself a lot. But after a while, it really does. It becomes part of just what you do. And that's when you really start to see everything, happening at a very rapid pace is what I've experienced. I mean, I have so many stories that I am not going to go into right now, but I can talk about this for a long time and just share so many stories that I have about ways that I just turned around a lot of negativity and negative things happening in my life, because I couldn't keep going down that path. And so I had to consciously rewire myself, and it takes, weeks at a time, to get out of a negative train of thought, but,
it does.
yeah,
I mean, that's the reprogramming,
Yep.
And I will also say, going back to the analogy of the athletes, is someone can compete in the Olympics and they're incredibly fit and they're in their 20s and they let it go. Say they let it go. And, here they are, 45 years old, not out of shape and overweight, because you don't just do it once and then you're fit for life.
Yeah. Gotta maintenance.
You can letting your body go, same thing as letting your mind go. And I certainly have fallen victim to it myself. I'm not always in the positive mindset. That's when you have to check. You got to check on yourself and say, oh, where am I going? What's happening? I got to reprogram. I'm going down that rabbit hole. Don't allow that to happen, because you can get out of mental shape just like you can get out of physical shape.
Yeah, definitely. I call it negative self-talk, and I really I pay a lot of attention to the words that come out, and I try and rephrase, my thinking to not be what I don't want, but what I do want all the time, because either one will show up if that's all you're thinking about. So that's a focus of mine constantly, is to make sure that I'm talking to myself properly as well, instead of saying this is hard, this, expanding out is hard, doing all this other stuff is hard. I rephrase it all the time. So, but yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. That was good. It's always nice to kind of get a break from, I guess, the grind of, marketing and everything else, and just have, a little bit of a mindset on, to start off the week and the month. I guess this is the first Monday. So
Indeed. Well, it's
But,
a real pleasure to
yeah.
be on here. Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. And
I,
if
I
you
always
guys
enjoy
have
talking
any,
to a bunch of pigs.
yeah, well, hopefully. So if you guys have any escrow needs, give Allie a call. They have offices all over the place. And how many offices do you guys have now? Like
We
11
have
or
12
or something?
offices, so we're
Yeah.
across 5 counties, multiple languages, 70 escrow professionals, and we're actually one of the largest independent escrow companies in Southern California.
Cool. Right on. Well, if you guys, are needing an escrow officer, if you're new to an area or just kind of getting started up, or maybe your escrow officer left the company that you were, using, give Allie a call. She'll get you hooked up with one of the ones in your area.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Thank you for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you on again. I think we have a couple other trainings coming up that you're scheduled for, so we're looking forward to those as well.
Wonderful. Yep, we're looking at putting together one right now on cybersecurity, which is so important. And so I'll be looping in one of my escrow officers on that one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. So, okay, sounds good. I hope everybody has a great week. Obviously, we're all around if you need anything, so give us a call.
Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you.
Make it a great day, everyone.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.